I'm preparing a video regarding the many lies of Antonio Costa in preparation for the elections on the 30th of January, and my goal was to focus 100% on that video with no interruptions. But there are things that come to my attention that I simply cannot ignore, and I want to expose it on my channel because this rarely has any mention on the mainstream media. As you are aware, in the member states of the European Union there is a push for the so-called green energy policies to reduce the use of fossil fuels and eventually use only energy from the sun and wind, for example. You probably already saw commercials about that push on YouTube and other platforms. I certainly have. And the European Union literally gives money to the member states to close their coal plants, for example, as is the case in Portugal, to push for this new European Green Deal. However, what this means to member states, and in particular to Portugal, is that we cannot produce our own energy and become dependent on other countries to provide energy to us. And by provide, I mean Portugal has to pay other countries to get energy. And the consequence for being dependent on other countries is that our energy costs get higher. Those higher costs are not just the result of having to buy energy from other countries instead of producing it ourselves. They are also the result of new carbon-based taxes or the increase of existing carbon taxes. In Portugal, our energy is extremely expensive because between 50 and 60% of the price of electricity, gas, and fuel are taxes. In fact, there are around 600 environmental taxes in Portugal, and left and far left parties want to create even more. All this is promoted and enforced by the European Union, and this is nothing more than an attack to the middle class because they are left with less money in their pockets just to do their daily activities like going to work or school. So the European Union literally attacks the middle class with these green policies. But surely this means that the ultra-rich pay even more taxes, correct? No, not correct. The ultra-rich, with private jets for example, are exempt from those taxes. Let me put it in a more direct way. If you are a millionaire or billionaire and have a private jet, you are exempt from these taxes according to the European Union. Looking at available data regarding emissions of a typical passenger car, it emits about 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide per year. So if you own one of these cars, you will pay more taxes thanks to the European Union. A private jet, however, emits 5 to 14 times more carbon dioxide than commercial planes per passenger, and 50 times more than trains. So if you own a private jet, you will not pay more taxes thanks to the European Union. This is why I say the European Union is a socialist and communist wet dream. Both socialism and communism claim to be for equality and that they want to eliminate classes. But in practice, socialism and communism make sure that there is a bigger gap between the poor class and the rich class. Under socialism or communism, the middle class will be constantly attacked and taxed to a point where they simply become poor. At the same time, the rich just get richer. This tax exemption is another example of this. The European Union is actively attacking you, a person that works every day to put food on the table for yourself and your family, a person that works 8 to 16 hours a day, a person that has to travel several kilometers just to get to work or school every day. You are the target of these green policies, with more and more taxes. But the ultra-rich with private jets that do nothing and pollute more than anyone else are exempt from those taxes. I say these ultra-rich do nothing, but in fact they fill the pockets of the Eurocrats that create these bills in the European Commission. The draft of the bill from last year goes a step beyond into making fun of all of us by stating the following. A further exemption is given for pleasure flights, whereby an aircraft is used for personal or recreational purposes, not associated with a business or professional use. So the tax exemption is also applied to those with private jets that use it for pleasure and recreation, not just business. This is absurd and disgusting, and shows the type of people in the European Commission, absolute scum of the earth. No wonder Antonio Costa wants to get a job there. The convenient lie about man-made climate change leads to this. The elites can pollute more than anyone else and do whatever they want without being taxed, while everyone else needs to be taxed even more just because they have to go to work every day. The European Union is an evil, corrupt organization, and the unelected liberal, socialist and communist stronghold that controls it needs to be removed from power. Stop voting for these people that represent the left in your country, and the European Union will stop growing as it did in the last 30 years to what it is today, a totalitarian superstate that benefits the elites, including the Eurocrats, and crushes everyone else. I hope you like this, and I'll see you next time.